What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Renegade Capes on the Renegade Pop Culture Podcast Network. My name is Mike. Joining me, as always, is Brock, to my left.
And
we've got the streaming demon, Jacob.
Bird.
We've got Josh and Kristal. And we've got the disembodied voice of Haylee.
I can't top anybody else's intro. Just hello, hi.
I couldn't tell if Josh and Kristal were going to do that or the sound of drowning.
Or do I wear fake mustache?
This is only the beginning of the insanity, as we're talking about James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. For those who haven't seen it, this review is completely spoilers, so you can watch it now in theaters or on HBO Max.
Or you can do it the preferred way by some people on film Twitter, which is taking clips out of context and deciding to hate it right then and there. You know, it's up to you.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, if you want to do it like a professional.
Obviously.
I mean, if you have any sense about you.
So in this movie, the government sends the most dangerous supervillains in the world, Bloodsport, Peacemaker, King Shark, Harley Quinn, and others, to the remote enemy-infused island of Corto Maltese. Armed with high-tech weapons, they trek through the dangerous jungle on a search and destroy mission with only Colonel Rick Flag on the ground to make them behave. So, Josh, I'm gonna have you start first. Your thoughts on the film?
Okay, look, I want it known from everybody right off the bat. I'm a huge James Gunn fan. Even all the way back to Scooby-Doo. And when I heard that he was doing The Suicide Squad, I was fucking over the moon. And hearing that it was going to be R-rated, I knew we were in for something special. And I've seen it 3 times at this point. I think that should let everybody know what I feel about it. I fucking love this movie. This is probably my personal favorite DCEU movie so far, and it barely beat out Shazam. That's my scale of it insofar. And in my opinion, like just getting some minor things out of the way, I do think there are some negatives of this movie that I do want to get into later.
And we will.
You know, the energy and the feeling that I got while watching this movie, it's just so unabashedly fun, literally right down to the opening, and just even the way that Gunn uses violence in the most creative way possible. Like, there are some things he does here with blood and guts and gore that most people haven't even thought of or even attempted to do in a feature film, and it's so fucking cool. That's just the thing. When I talk about this movie, I feel like a kid, and literally I haven't gotten this movie out of my fucking head. And I know I'm being extra vulgar, but that's just because shut up. Like, it's just, I don't know if this is my personal favorite James Gunn movie. Like, it's probably still Guardians Volume 2.
And you are correct in that statement.
And then probably this movie, and then the first Guardians film, followed by Slither and Super at the bottom, but that's just me personally. But literally, I can't wait to watch this even more times in the future. And for the love of God, do not watch the 2016 version. But I will say,
Ew.
I wish you had told yourself that.
I wish I did too. Now kick it over to Kristal.
Well, I'll say I had pretty much no context going into this aside from watching the first Suicide Squad. Like, I didn't really know James Gunn. I wasn't a huge fan. I mean, I had watched... Josh made me watch Slither.
I didn't make you watch. I put it on and you happened to be there. And you were like, I guess I'm here now.
Josh made me watch Slither, and I had seen the Guardians of the Galaxy Part 2.
And
Volume
1.
2. And 1. But other than that, I wasn't really attached to James Gunn. I wasn't really attached to any of the characters that we see in the Suicide Squad. I don't know half of the characters that even existed. aside from Colonel Flag, Harley Quinn, and King Shark. But the only King Shark that I knew was from the animated series, which I revisited.
Because it's great.
Oh my god, are you
amazing.
talking about the fucking clip?
it's just
There's a clip that we've seen shared around where it's from season 2 where it's the episode with Mr. Freeze and the door opens and you see his silhouette
It's like,
and you just
like mist coming up and he's
and
like,
you just-
oh my god, it's Beyonce!
and then it cuts to Clayface. He's like, "Oh my god, it's Lady Gaga." So that was
I rewatched that clip and I fucking die every single time I hear it. It's the best, but I definitely do like the way that they went the way that they went with King Shark in this. I don't feel like they did that character dirty in any way, even though they drastically changed him. It still works. But my point was that I went into this pretty much completely blind, aside from the first Suicide Squad, which Josh made us watch, I think, a day or two before the second one came out, and literally Josh was sitting in the car, and he's like, "Kristal, I need to ask you something." I'm like, "Dear Lord, what?" He's like, "So you know the Suicide Squad 2 is coming out, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's like, can we watch the first one?
that's
No,
how hyped I was
no.
for this one that it made me want to go back and revisit
I
the first
was
one.
genuinely angry at Josh that he wanted to watch the first one.
Was it the theatrical version or the extended cut?
It was the theatrical version.
There's an extended cut?
It's not a real extended cut. They like threw in a couple deleted scenes and called it a day.
You may know it as the endurance test cut.
Wow, okay.
So on the whole.
I got so angry, and I was just like, I do not want to watch this. I don't want to be a part of it. I'll clean and do something else while you watch it, but I'm not going to watch it.
and
he's
then
like,
you ended up watching it.
no, because here's the thing.
We're already
He
starting
begged
off
me.
on
He
this
begged me to watch it.
because I didn't want to watch it alone.
He didn't want to watch it alone, and I didn't want to watch it. And so we made the condition that he would get me Dunkin' Donuts, and I'd watch it. And I did, and I regretted it. We hated every single moment watching that. It was god awful, and I never want to see it again.
I'm just imagining Kristal as Bob from Bob's Burger. Fine, but I'm going to complain the whole time.
I mean, I wasn't
Exactly.
complaining about that. 'Cause
Exactly.
It was fun to just roast the shit out of the movie.
Yeah.
It was, but at some points it was just genuinely awful. I could go off, and I'm sure every one of us could go off for hours on end about how awful that movie is. But I went with Josh and a whole bunch of our friends, like ridiculous amount of our friends, to go watch the second one. And I was smiling through the whole damn thing. Smiling, laughing my ass off, and loving Cleo. Loving her. And yeah, I mean, it was just on every level better than the first one.
Night and day. Literally.
Literally.
Yes.
But that's about it for me.
You got it all out of your system?
Pretty much.
Jake, you want to go next?
Well, okay. First of all, do you guys want to hear how Movie Bob described the original Suicide Squad movie?
Oh God, what did he say?
He said, "It's the radio edit of a Kid Rock cover of an Iggy Pop track."
Sounds about right.
The movie adaptation.
Fair.
It's the movie adaptation of an obnoxious, mullet sprouting 10-year-old shouting "World Star" on top of the Chuck E. Cheese ball pit on Snapchat.
But I would want to watch that, though. That sounds fun.
It's Breaking Bad branded rock candy. A vaping pen shaped like a crack pipe hawked on QVC by Flava Flav.
Wow.
It's a gentrified neighborhood, still trying to look straight by putting a Boondocks mural next to the Panera Bread.
Holy fuck.
Oh my god.
That is way more thought than I think anybody deserves to give the original theatrical cut.
I think that's more thought
Yeah.
than we did.
It's fucking awful. There's really nothing I can say about the original Suicide Squad. Okay, it's bad. It wastes perfectly good performances and Jared Leto. It tries so hard to be like. It's like it plays off what a 13-year-old with conservative Trump-supporting parents, what that kid thinks is a really edgy and hardcore superhero movie. It never goes as far as it should. It's just scenes happening with no rhyme or reason at all. The Joker adds jack shit to anything that's happening. It plays out in the most discombobulated way imaginable. It's atrociously written. It's atrociously acted. It looks awful. The Suicide Squad, it's what that movie failed miserably at being. Okay, it's fun. It's brutal. It's fun the most fun way possible. It's just constant surprise after constant surprise. It's the most. I think it implies the most visual storytelling out of Gunn's superhero movies. There's cinematic comic book universe movies more accurately because I haven't seen Super. It's a good time, man. It's just it elated me. It really did.
Haylee, do you want to go next?
Do we want me to go next? Oh my god. I hated this movie. This is the worst movie I have seen in years. I loathed this on a level that I did not think would be possible going into it. Now, I don't remember how I felt about Suicide Squad, except that I didn't like it, and it was a waste of my money. I did not revisit it before this, which is probably for the better, because I am going very, very, very against the grain. I'm telling Cam that I'm only the second person I know who did not enjoy this movie, and the only person I know who thoroughly disenjoyed it on this level. I don't want to just sit here eviscerating it, because y'all had a real good time with it. And whatever it was that didn't work for me just didn't work so thoroughly that it made me mad. I found it unfunny. I found it cacophonous. I found it poorly written. I did not like any of these people. I know I'm not supposed to, but their attempts to make me like them piss me off. I should say right now that I'm not on camera to protect my identity or anything. I genuinely don't feel well and don't look great right now. But yeah, I was angry that I watched that. And I'm the only person I know who feels this way.
It's our Green Knight review part 2.
Okay, but I would go see the Green Knight again because I at least thought that was visually stimulating. I never want to see this again.
Look, Haylee,
I want to pretend that this did not happen to me, and I want to walk away from it.
If it makes you feel better, you're not the only one, at least in my circle, who didn't enjoy the movie. So at least take comfort in that.
That's good to know, because the trailer for this didn't do a whole lot for me, but I was like, oh, it's getting good reviews, whatever. I think it was 15 minutes in that I texted my boyfriend and went, what the fuck is going on in this movie? Because he's the other person I know who didn't like this movie. And he was like, I know, right? And I was like, thank you. And 45 minutes in, I just started screaming in caps locks. But I know we'll get more into actual stuff with the movie, so I don't want to just keep saying I hated it. But yeah.
Good thing we had at least one dissenting opinion to round out the discussion. Brock, before I get to you, I'll just say, since I've probably the only one here who's other than Haylee who's only seen it once, but when I saw it, I had a grand old time. Yeah, pretty much everything that Josh said about like how how just off the walls James Gunn was allowed to be with the material, not holding anything back, just pretty much delivering everything that he wanted, taking as many like obscure DC characters, and just showing no mercy. I don't know if it's my favorite James Gunn film yet. I'm torn between this and Guardians Volume 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how much I really, really enjoyed this one. Brock, your general thoughts?
I was screaming in my theater at how much I love this movie. I had multiple moments where I thought I was having a fever dream, that I was actually able to see a R-rated movie that was using the fact that it was R-rated to make an R-rated movie outside of to show some tits ass and a couple of swear words in it. I loved it. And James Gunn knows character work better than most directors, in my opinion, and he showed it here. I pretty much have about the same exact ranking of Gunn's films as Josh mentioned. It's going to be very, 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 very hard for James to make a movie that I like more than Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 for very personal reasons, outside of I just think it's a very well put together film. But James understood that it was like, this is Suicide Squad. This is not meant to be, hey, let's get all the people everybody knows and let's throw them on in for marketing. No, I'm going to have a couple of people you knew from the first one, and then you ain't going to know jack all about anybody else. Fucking Calendar Man is in this movie for 20 seconds.
Played by his brother.
I lost my shit when Calendar Man showed up. And it's Calendar Man insulting Polka Dot Man. You cannot have a more least popular pair of DC Comics heroes insulting each other in history, in movie period. Just like, that was one of the most James Gunn scenes I've ever seen in my life. But everyone was perfectly casted, in my opinion. I loved the way it was written. I didn't think I'd get emotional story beats out of a character called Ratcatcher 2. Just gonna throw that out there. But I did. I really liked it. I really, really liked it. Like I said, I saw it once on Thursday. I saw it again on Friday. Me and Mike were going to review it, so I was going to see a 1 o'clock showing before we did it, but I accidentally fell asleep and took a nap and then slept too much and would have had it a third time in before a review. I highly recommend it to everyone.
So since you brought up James Gunn's affinity for characters, why don't we start there? I think we all kind of have the same 2 or 3 like top tier favorite characters. The ones that my top 3 are Ratcatcher 2, because what was her name? Daniela Melchior. She just stole my heart. Like the second we meet her, like in her cage or in her prison cell, I knew I was gonna like this character.
I straight up fell in love with her character. Like,
it doesn't help that she's literally my sister in every way, shape, and form.
Yep, it's a gender bend of my roommate. It's crazy.
Like my sister is even she's obsessed with rats. She's had rats.
Like she actually keeps them for pets, or
she keeps them for pets. Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
And just the attitude and just sleeping constantly. My God, Catherine, if you ever watch this, wake up, go to school. Jesus Christ. But as far as I know, my family, my mom, my brother, my sister haven't watched it, but they'll know as soon as they watch it. That's my sister, Catherine.
Nice. My number 2 is King Shark, Nanaue.
Mm-hmm.
And number 3, and this is not counting Harley, by the way, despite how great she is in this movie, Number 3 is Bloodsport. I think Idris Elba was the perfect choice to play, well, essentially the leader, because that's what he always ends up playing. Either the leader or the villain. And in this movie, he's technically both.
I would agree.
I mean, the reason he's in prison was because he put Superman in the ICU. And he's the only one who's ever done that.
Which he did. Well, I don't remember put him in the ICU, but he did put him in the ICU in the way he did appear in comics for the first time. It was with a needle, not a bullet, but
still.
Yeah.
Brock, your top 3. Oh, you can include Harley if you want. I just didn't because it wouldn't be fair.
Yeah. Well, King Shark is like on Mount Olympus of like my favorite of DC interpretations of anything ever. It has ruined me for if I see a bird outside of my house or anywhere, I cannot help myself but bird. It's ingrained into my head. I can't get rid of it. And then Ratcatcher and Bloodsport are tied at 2. And then the first ever Charlton character to appear in a live action big budget DC movie, which I'm so freaking happy finally happened, Peacemaker. Like, John Cena talked about how he prepared for this. Like, he was going to read Peacemaker comics, and James Gunn told him not to. Told him point blank, don't do it. He's like, and then he brought in how he thought he was going to act, and then he did it a certain way, and then James was like, no, do it this way. And then I was reading comments underneath the article where he was admitting this. He's like, James went out of his way to read comics and then told John not to, because he ended up acting exactly how the DC version of Peacemaker is and didn't want John to have a different version of what he wanted. I was like, oh, that makes sense. But yeah, I can't get over how well casted that whole movie was. But yeah, it's technically cheating. It's those for the tops, but it's just like for two small honorable mentions. I love Flula Borg with all my body and soul. That dude is hilarious. Go watch some of his YouTube work if you don't know much about him. So I'm so happy he made it in the movie for the 5 minutes that he was there.
Same. And I'm a huge Flula Borg fan.
And 2, my roommate couldn't comprehend what was happening when TDK's arms popped off.
Oh my god.
He went into a different form of reality. And I was howling laughing when Nathan Fillion is on the ground screaming in pain when they're shooting his arms and not him.
By the way, for those who don't know, in the comics, this character's name is Arm Fall Off Boy.
Yes. TDK, your name, it stands for my name. Your name is Letters?
All names are letters, dickhead.
But yeah, that was it. Man, it was so good.
Haylee, I do have to ask: were there any characters that you did enjoy in the movie?
So I agree. I think John Cena did the most with what was there. I think Peacemaker was probably the best realized of all of those characters besides Harley, but she's had like 3 or 4 movies at this point to be realized, and Margot Robbie is a national treasure. But John Cena was of the new ones probably my favorite in terms of he was the character where I was like, I feel like this person is 3-dimensional. I understand their motivations without having a whole lot of them explained. And I think that his character got across better the anti-imperialist themes than the actual anti-imperialist plot of the third act. Also really weirdly enjoyed Pete Davidson in this. I don't like him in anything normally, and I thought he was very well used, and honestly wish he had been one of the main characters. I would have enjoyed that more. But I think part of my problem with this, one of the big problems I have with this movie is that the characters don't really feel lived in to me. There's a lot of exposition dumps about tragic pasts that just kind of I couldn't figure out if I was supposed to sympathize with these exposition dumps or if they were supposed to be like kind of funny sometimes, because the movie didn't really know what it wanted to be tonally either. I don't think. But like on the surface, these are solid ideas for characters. I also don't know 90% of these characters. I'm just going to admit that. So I don't have the joy of like oh, that's my favorite alien chick on the helicopter, bringing it down. I'm like, I don't know who this person is. Which I don't know if the movie was hoping you would recognize them or not, but it kind of seemed like it for some of these people. Like, I knew who Calendar Man was, but that's because I obsessively read Batman for 15 years. But, yeah, I feel real weird right now, because it's like, everyone gets real excited, and then I come in and I'm like, Debbie Downey here, like, wah, wah.
Now you know how I felt during the Mortal Kombat review.
Well, I didn't watch that, and I would have probably been with you on that one, too. But the, yeah, in terms of characters, like, I'm interested to see what they do with a John Cena Peacekeeper show. I hope it's along the lines of Judge Dredd, because he was the best Judge Dredd who has not been Judge Dredd.
Supposedly, there was a comment that it's going to be a lot quieter than what the movie was. That was a big thing that James said.
Like he says that it's going to be. He compared it to Better Call Saul at one point.
What?
Interesting.
Like,
yeah, that's interesting.
In that vein, sort of like how it focuses on a smaller character, but also like kind of expands the world around them. And he says that it's going to be quieter, but also it's going to have as like action, like almost as much as any show, any superhero show has ever tried. Which, with the way he does action, I'm really excited for. But just the little things that he sprinkled in here and there about Peacemaker, and that he's kind of his answer to like a post-Trump world, like that kind of radicalization, and how Peacemaker is kind of like that taken to the extreme. Like, I saw little hints of that, and I see what you mean, Haylee, because I didn't expect to love Peacemaker. But yeah, like, personally speaking, I did love all the characters, but I get what you mean about Peacemaker feeling the most complex. Because of everybody, he had probably the most going on, morally speaking.
He had the most plot, definitely, in the movie, for sure.
And
yeah.
And I will agree, like, that this is probably John Cena's best performance he's ever done. Like,
oh yeah,
holy shit!
And it's a better dramatic performance than whatever the hell he was doing in Fast 9.
Yeah,
I didn't know he could do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I really loved him in Blockers, which is a completely different movie that not enough people have seen. Frankly, you should go see that.
I love Blockers.
That's such a good movie. I think he does better work in Blockers, but I think that might be because I just enjoyed Blockers more. He was the thing that kept me into this movie when I was like, I could just turn this off and no one would know.
Yeah. John Cena has a credit to me, in my opinion, to be a better wrestler turned actor than The Rock by a country mile if he's given a chance to do some different roles. Because John has shown in little itty bitty parts in every movie that he's been in that he can do other things. He just hasn't gotten a chance to show it a lot yet.
Speaking of actors or wrestlers turned actors, this is the second time that James Gunn has like pretty much molded a former wrestler like to give a very specific performance. Because remember, before Guardians of the Galaxy, Dave Bautista was, he's been in a couple films before that, and he even admitted like, yeah, you know what, I'm not really the strongest actor.
Yep.
But then after Guardians hit, that's when like that's when his talent like increased exponentially, and now he's working with like all the top directors.
He's openly admitted he took more acting classes and studied more after he was with Gunn.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think Gina. Why did I almost say what the hell? John Cena.
Gina
movie
Cena.
has this movie's destroyed my brain. John Cena, I think, has more innate talent to him, I think, than someone like Batista, where he's like Batista's great, but Cena has a magnetism that really draws you in, and it works really well for this character, especially because this character is doing downright awful, shitty crap the entire movie. Like, I know the whole thing is like, this is Suicide Squad, they're supposed to be evil, but when one of your evil characters is a poor uwu rat creature, you're like, it's like that doesn't really hold a whole lot of water. But the fact that he's likable while being the most consistently despicable across the whole damn thing is pretty interesting.
Like, if we're talking like that whole scene where Peacemaker and Bloodsport are kind of competing for like who can do the most kills. For me, that's just I just found it hilarious just in how visual it was, like that you don't even pick up that they're making this competition until halfway through. And they're just silent the whole time, and just Peacemaker's just so effortless with his kills, and it's there like, at least compared to Bloodsport, you notice that Peacemaker's taking out more innocents than Bloodsport, like down to the woman just doing the laundry for the campers and everything.
For that dude who's sleeping, that he chops sueys with the axe as he's walking by.
That little fucking thing. Like,
Except for when what you're showing off is dope as fuck.
Fuck.
That's true. But like, when you get those little moments of like him, like you see like what he could be like as a normal dude at the bar scene where they're all dancing, and just when he includes the rat in the drinks too.
Yeah. Yeah. The fact that he just can't fit into civilian clothing either.
Oh my god, you're right.
I do want to say, like, my personal favorite characters, aside from Peacemaker, because I think I said my piece, but like,
we're gonna bump.
I'll be honest, I really loved Bloodsport solely because he wasn't just a palette swap of Will Smith. I saw a lot of people say Bloodsport is just Deadshot, but just replaced with another guy, which for me kind of reads a lot of like weird ways in that people read that character. And if all you see is just a palette swap of another famous black actor, I feel a little uncomfortable with how you see that.
Yeah, I don't want to necessarily say the R word, but I also don't not want to.
Because just in the beginning, like just how they set up that Bloodsport is literally a piece of shit to his daughter, like didn't even want to be around her, and that whole scene where they're just yelling at each other in the visitor.
Fuck you!
Fuck you! And Idris Elba just completely gives himself to the insanity of James Gunn, and I don't know. It just feels like very well earned, in my opinion, near the end, when just considering his whole character arc about, learning to love and find purpose in people, which I think is a broader theme in the movie, but I'll get to that later. I want to say that I loved Rick Flag also, and it just shows. We were talking about this before, but my God, Joel Kinnaman's been wasted before, like his recent string with. I hear he's got a show now that he's really good in.
For All of Mankind, I think it's called.
Yep, it's on Apple Plus.
Which this movie made me want to check him out, because Joel Kinnaman, with the right script and the right direction, he's fucking charismatic as hell. And just the very end of the movie where they're at Project Starfish, the whole scene that he has with John Cena, I was absolutely floored. And that moment, the thing that solidified me where I need to work with this guy in the future. It was right when he gets on top of Peacemaker and starts choking him out with the pipe, and it cuts to that close-up, and you can tell like it's perfectly lit, where you can see just his eyes like a little bit, but everything else around him is dark. I said to myself when I first saw it, like, fuck, I need to cast him in something. I need to get famous so I can work with him.
Yeah.
And the other character that I really, really love, I mean, personally speaking, I just wish he had a lot more to do, but Captain Boomerang.
It is very unfortunate that he was only in it for, what, 5 minutes at most?
Maybe.
And I was thinking the whole time, because James Gunn went on record saying that the John Ostrander books were his inspiration. I actually read all of his first run, like all of his first story arc of his Suicide Squad run, which is Trial by Fire. And Captain Boomerang's a fucking piece of shit in that story. So I figured, you know what? He's attached to the John Ostrander things. Captain Boomerang's going to make it out of here. And then that happens. And I was just thinking, oh, shit. Well, look, okay, a lot of the old guard from Suicide Squad, the ones that aren't from the first movie that are here, look, he's got to keep them alive, you know? Like, that would just be, like, insane. And then Rick Flag bites it. I'm like, oh, shit, there's a chance Harley might not make it.
Mm-hmm.
But we all know that DC is not going to let him kill Harley.
I was going to say, they got to sell action figures and Barbie dolls.
Yeah.
Of Harley. Come on.
They got to make more movies with her.
Well, that's the weird thing, though. They could kill her, and they still could make movies because they don't have a consistent timeline in any of those movies.
Personally speaking, I view this movie as taking place during Justice League.
Wait, so
Like, I know it's never outright said, just because, you know, they want to make sure that, like, everybody's like, you know, it's all in the same universe, but it's kind of in the same way that I think Birds of Prey took place, like, during Justice League when Bruce was looking for Arthur Curry, because there is no way Batman would let all that shit fly in Gotham.
did that? I might be completely insane and remembering things completely wrong, but didn't they say that Batman kills her?
No, in Zack Snyder's Justice League,
Yeah.
I think they implied that. Holy fuck, I don't remember.
Does
In the
anyone
end
remember?
credits scene, there was hold on. I know what you're talking. There's a conversation between Batman and the Joker.
This is in the nightmare future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think she begs him to kill her.
Yeah, because I think Harley dies in the future, fucking fridging her. Look, I love.
I'm so glad I didn't see this fucking movie.
Again, we're going off the basis that yet again DC does not believe in a cohesive timeline for any movies.
Yeah.
Like, so don't like it. And also the fact that it says Snyder on it, you can wholesale believe that the rest of their movies don't involve it.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Which, let's get this out of the way real quick. I know it's not right out of the way, but I mean, we're this far in. I think I can speak for all of us when I say we're always here to support artists' visions being out there for the public. It's honestly a miracle that James Gunn got to do the movie the way he wanted to, and for better or for worse, we got to see his vision. And out of respect for David Ayer as an artist, his stuff isn't personally my cup of tea. You guys may recall, if you haven't, you may recall that me and Kristal went into a lengthy rant about the tax collector.
Scathing review of the tax collector.
But regardless, I would still want David Ayer's vision to be out there.
Yes.
Now, whether or not it'll happen, who's to say? That said, personally speaking, I don't think it would be a good movie, but it would be a cohesive movie. Just
Yes.
like how this one, for better or worse, is James Gunn's vision, I think that one, for better or worse, would be David Ayer's vision.
I'm at the point right now where I'm not like actively campaigning for it anymore, partially because the fandom has exploded.
Yeah.
But if it does come to pass, I will check it out. I'm just not actively campaigning for it for reasons.
I want people to actually be able to do their projects, but I've gotten to the point of where I almost break out in hives if I hear the word cut now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gotten to the point well past lunacy to where everyone's like, yeah, well, the studio didn't quite let me do my thing, so I should get my version.
Like,
let's not do that anymore, please.
a lot of people online just genuinely do not understand how filmmaking works. And I'm not about to say that I know how it works on like a level as big as these blockbusters, but compromise is literally a part of the creative process. You're rarely going to get everything 100% in your head. You're lucky to get 90% of it from your head. But I think, in my opinion, when you have a fan base that has devolved to such absolutely insane lengths, I think there's only so much that you can do when it just turns into absolute hypocrisy at best and downright deplorable actions at worst.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen what that very toxic side of the fandom can do with personal friends.
Yep.
And I was very fortunate to be on the right side of it when some big personality on Twitter just kind of totally shit the bed on themselves. I'll say this just so that way I can get the brunt of it. Fuck you, Mercury. You guys are safe, but fuck you, you piece of shit.
I honestly don't really follow a whole lot of this stuff.
You don't need to.
But
Trust me.
yeah,
You're much better off.
Yeah.
I know. But my prevailing opinion is I don't remember liking the first one. I hated this one. I don't need a second version of something I already didn't like. That's generally how I come down on all of these things.
Yeah. And the worst part is, gonna be honest, there's a lot of times where if we're gonna go on the other side of the fence, that Marvel movies got a good grip on how their movies are made at all times, but their movies still get made, so you don't hear people bitching about them as much.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's a famous sports quote. I forget who said it, but it's like the quote is "Winning cures everything."
Mm-hmm.
When the movies are good and well received, you don't hear a peep from the peanut gallery.
Yeah. But
Let's just say that some people, I'm not going to say this whole community because I don't know much about any of this. Let's just say that some people in this community are so warped in the head that they are willing to gaslight Josh into saying that he's white.
I saw that, and
we won't get into it here, but like,
it was infuriating.
and it was in an attempt to build up that person that I just said "fuck you" to.
got it.
But okay,
but moving on to
Back to the movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm gonna interject. I'm gonna jump in here real quick to talk about this film that I didn't enjoy, clearly. But what did you all think of the third act? Because I'm seeing the same criticism of the third act multiple places, and ironically, it's one of the few criticisms of the film I don't share, that why isn't somebody else taking care of the giant fucking starfish? And I'm just like, well, they didn't know that was there. My issue with the third act is I cannot fathom a world where blackmailed prison labor sent into another country to die would be shocked about the U.S. government doing bad things abroad. which is what the entire third act hinges on.
And
Oh shit, she left. Well, personally speaking, I really loved the third act.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, the third act was like, in my opinion, very well earned with the insanity of it. I thought she was about to say like everybody thinks that the third act is childish, which nothing about this movie is childish. But like, as far
I'm
as
so
like,
sorry. I dropped off entirely and definitely didn't mean to. That was extremely
Okay.
dramatic.
no, it's okay.
You're fine. You're good. You're fine.
But like, for me, I think what makes it work is that it's in Rick Flag. If it was any other character, like Ratcatcher was just completely lost to the whole thing. And if it was Peacemaker, I mean, Peacemaker, of course, was the one there to keep the peace and make sure that, like, hey, you know, there's even more shit that you guys that it's above your pay grade to know, and that's why I'm here to wipe it out. If it was Bloodsport or anybody else, I think they would be like, hold on, are we really shocked about this?
Mm-hmm.
And what sells it is just Joel Kinnaman's just visceral reaction. I was telling everybody right now, Haylee, I thought your criticism was going to be that the third act, like, people treat it like it's a kid's movie. Because I think it's perfectly well earned, and people were like, why didn't Bloodsport just aim for the eye?
Yeah,
you did it about 12 times and it didn't hit.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I usually don't like sit there going, oh man, why didn't they just fly the birds to Mordor? It's like, okay, like at some point there's just no story if you do that. But like there's some level of disbelief and also just realism in most people thinking the giant eye monster probably isn't going to die if you just shoot it in the eye. Like, at some point you just got to live with it. It was, I get what you're saying about, like, as a character moment, it worked for you, but I just couldn't, that was the point, like, the movie had lost me already, but that was the point where it really lost me, because I was like, these people have bombs implanted in the back of their heads. These people are on a suicide squad. They are literally being blackmailed with less prison time to go in to this island nation on behalf of the U.S. government to destabilize it. Like, if they haven't put the pieces together, that's what they're doing. So it just didn't, it rings hollow to me that there would be so much fighting over this hard drive box thing. And also it brought up a lot of weird questions about, like, what Peacekeeper was even doing there. I was like,
you were
so
the first time.
Oh, I was? Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
As we've all learned, I'm bad with names, places, staying onto the stream, cameras. And I think part of that for me, why it didn't work, was because I really didn't feel attached to these characters in any way. The movie tried, it just didn't work for me. So I didn't really get anything from the Colonel being like, I can't believe the US would do something like this, because I'm like, I don't know you. Like, I don't remember the first movie. Maybe he had more character development there, but literally all you have done is kind of hang out in a jungle place and get the rebels on your side, as far as what I've seen. I don't know your story. I don't know your face. I don't know anything about you.
Okay.
And that's what I felt about a lot of the characters in this movie. I'm like, why am I supposed to care about your backstory when I don't know a damn thing about you?
So that actually brings me to one of the few complaints that I do have with the movie in general, and that's the freedom fighters. In my opinion, everything that you said, Haylee, I feel totally applies to Alice Braga's character, Sol Soria, because I felt like she was a character that was completely wasted, and I feel like I would have been more attached to her if she was actually directly involved with everything in the third act, like if she was there at Jotunheim and everything. Because as it was, everything with her and the freedom fighters did feel like it was meant to be like background stuff that just happened to make its way in the forefront. Like, Like personally speaking, I just imagine what it would have been like if. But then again, you also lose the fucking great Milton moment. But imagining if she was there with them planning the bombs while her troopers went to go, take back the Capitol, like it just. That's my personal thing, that like some of the characters didn't feel as elaborated, and I think that also goes into Gaius Greaves, the Thinker, because like I mentioned this in my review for the site, but well, I don't think I mentioned him in particular, but for a character called the Thinker, I never really got the impression that he was that smart, which I think is kind of the point.
Mm-hmm.
But like I wish like there could have been like little things where like, because the squad didn't know how Jotunheim worked and he did, like he was the one that set off like the alarms for the people to be there, like the guards there to like stop them or something like that. But that being said, I will admit it's a nice surprise to see Alice Braga again, because I haven't seen her since Predators. And on top of that, I can tell that Peter Capaldi is just delightfully hamming it up as a piece of shit. Mm-hmm. But I will admit, like, just to play devil's advocate, I do think that there are some negatives with the movie.
And I definitely will corroborate that. Just like I had a big problem with the relationship between Harley and Corto Maltese.
You brought this up, and I added it in my review.
That it makes no sense. Well, not that it doesn't make any sense. I can kind of understand why Corto Maltese would like her. Like they would kind of be their idol. But they don't establish it, like, at all. Aside from just the dude saying that we like you here. Like, I felt like there could have been, like, a scene where, well, just the scene where she's driving in, they're dressing her up all pretty, and there's, like, a procession of, like, waiters and maitres, I don't know, whatever.
And you see, like citizens.
Like,
or,
if
like,
there was,
kids.
like, a whole procession for her, like, a parade, and, like, you see, like, this little girl dressed in a jester hat, where it shows that the town loves her because of her whole anti-American whatever.
And I think it could have even been like a really perfect meta moment for the character of Harley Quinn, that like the whole, like her arc in all these movies is just moving on from her attachment to the Joker. And this would be like a really cool meta moment for her to like see like the effect that she has on the world, like just her, like away from the Joker, and also
like she's more than just him.
And it could have been like a perfect commentary on like how the Harley Quinn character has exploded. But then again, that's also commenting on what we wish the movie could be and not what we got. But at the same time, it does feel like a bit of a wasted opportunity.
Oh yeah.
But
go ahead.
Even then, like I said, like I still have a lot of fun with it, and multiple times watching it, I don't feel the problem weighs that strongly. It's worth it just for, like, in my opinion, her writing in that scene, that whole sequence where the Colonel romances her, just the shot where they're in the birdcage and they both glide to each other.
Yeah.
I still laugh every time I watch that. But like I said, I'm trying to be fair, because I love this movie so much. Can you tell, like, I'm struggling to like I'm sorry if I just sound like a repeating record, and I'm sorry.
It's all right. I usually get like that way too when like I love a movie so much, but I have to pick at like those, those little dents in the armor.
And honestly, that's why I feel bad, because it's like I feel bad saying these things. It makes me feel like I'm trying to convince you guys that this movie sucks. Like, I'm not. Y'all love it. I'm not going to do that. It's just it didn't work for me clearly on any of the same levels. But I'm sitting here like, oh, how did I feel about the characters? It's hard. But
no, we totally get it.
Yeah.
And I hope you understand, like, it's actually really cool hearing your take on it, because it's not just like the whole, well, it's a 5 out of 10 fucking, it, like, bring me the Ayer cut, or it's not just like, this movie's made for babies. You know, give me something more
Babies.
tangible. Like,
No. I
like,
mean,
you're giving really good reasons, and I understand where you're coming from.
Thank you. I will say, I think if I found this movie funny, it would have papered over a lot of that. And I don't know why I didn't find this movie funny. I just didn't on a catastrophic level.
Well, Haylee, let me ask you: is this the first time you've seen a James Gunn movie that you like just clearly did not enjoy? Like, what'd you think of the Guardians films, for example?
The first Guardians film is in my top 3 Marvel movies. I think it's one of my favorites. It was, when I saw that, it was just like, that thing blew my mind. And the reason I went to see that was the soundtrack for that movie, because I heard the trailer started with the Hooked on a Feeling, and I was like, I literally only knew this from my dad's vinyl. You know, like, who is using this? And Guardians 2, I think has a lot of good in it, but I think there were parts of it that didn't work for me because they felt very casually cruel. Like, what sticks with me about that movie is that scene where Baby Groot is being tortured, and it made me really uncomfortable for some reason. But I've never had like this strong of a negative opinion about a Gunn film. So I knew what I was getting into, and I really think it breaks down to the tone of it. Because I think the tone, it carries in from the script and it kind of permeates everything, but the tone felt very all over the place to me. Like, I wasn't sure, like, I didn't find it funny, but there were things I was clearly supposed to laugh at. Excuse me. But then there were moments that were played almost exactly the same, and I wasn't sure if it was funny, if I was supposed to be taking it seriously, if this was like character development. I think like the opening sequence, all the people are dying, it's chaotic. Pete Davidson's face flew off. And I'm like, okay, I get what this is going for. But then there's like a weird dramatic scare chord in the middle of it. And then suddenly everyone's death is being taken seriously for like 15 seconds. And then it goes straight back into murder, mayhem, party time. And I was just like, what just happened? And the rest of the movie kind of carries that weird incongruence for me, where it's like, am I supposed to laugh at the polka dot guy's backstory? Am I supposed to be upset by it? Am I supposed to be grossed out by it? Because later I'm supposed to be grossed out by it, but maybe laugh at it. But maybe this is all very serious rumination on Oedipal leanings. But and I think that's why the movie gave me a headache, because I was spending way too much time trying to figure that out. But it carried through everything, and I was just like, I don't know.
It's a very difficult tonal tightrope that I totally get where you're coming from, that it will not work for some people.
Yeah, like not a lot of directors can really pull off that particular balance of different tones. I think one of the only directors I know that can pull it off like masterfully is
Like
Bong
Sam
Joon-ho
Raimi.
and Sam Raimi.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I would have loved a Bong Joon-ho version of this.
Oh, that would have been fun.
Not the least because then we would have had his BTS members playing the initial Suicide Squad. That would have been probably pretty fun. But yeah, it's like, I know Gunn is capable of doing something like this. I've seen him make really great things. I don't know why I know why. I just don't want to keep saying it. But yeah.
Like I said, this is fair, and you're helping me look at the movie in a more critical way, because, like, I'll admit, if we just completely came in here, it's just like, fuck yeah, like for a solid hour and a half, I imagine that could get really grating because it's like, all right, look, we know you love them. Like, we know we all love the movie. But at the same time, like, I also get, like, all these criticisms because it's so... Like, it's very important to look at art this critically, and especially when it's a full creator's, like, insane vision brought to life. Like I said, we get the full brunt of it, good and bad. I mean, this is, for all intents and purposes, James Gunn's Death Stranding.
Huh.
And that's... Do we have, like, a counter for our podcast, like, for all the times I've brought up Death Stranding?
It'll be about as long as Brock and I's count for how many times Gurren Lagann was mentioned.
Or
Dear God.
Or when Kiona would bring up Final Fantasy VII Remake. We all have that one thing. Kristal, it's Tool.
It's Tool.
I do want to share something with you guys real quick. And Brock, I feel like you're gonna kill me for this.
Oh no. Oh no.
Okay.
Oh, no.
So, like I said, I've seen this movie 3 times. I think I mentioned it earlier, if not before we recorded, then earlier, like in the recording. But every time I watch this movie, I notice something new.
Okay.
When I first saw the movie, it was for a midnight screening at my work.
Okay.
We got to see it before anybody else, before it even dropped on HBO Max. So I was lucky. And to prepare myself, I drank a fuckload of coffee, and I'm sitting there in the theater. I'm loving it, but I'm also overwhelmed because I'm very sleepy.
Yeah. Just
Okay.
sugar it up. Just say.
You're laughing. You're making fun of me because you know it's coming.
Yeah,
So, okay, when Cleo talks about her backstory in the bus, and you see the first Ratcatcher played by Taika Waititi, which I want to add, it's actually really nice to see Taika play a role, even just briefly, that isn't just a wink and a nod.
I did really
Which is
enjoy
what he
that.
almost was, because originally he was one of the people that dies on the beach.
Really? I thought he would probably be Polka Dot Man.
James Gunn brought up that he didn't say who he was, but James Gunn brought up originally he was one of the characters that dies on the beach.
Shit.
Javelin, no?
Anyway, go on.
This Javelin. But, like, yeah, this is almost on par with his role in Boy. But, you see him in the reflection. And call it me just being, like, starting to, like, come down from the high. But there was a point where I kind of spaced out looking at him. And I was just focusing on her.
Yeah. You were spaced out.
And it wasn't until the second viewing when I saw it with my friends, I literally thought to myself, oh, he was doing drugs. That's how he died.
No.
Because when I saw him eventually with the needle, I don't know why I didn't pick up on it, but I thought he was giving himself a tattoo because I saw that his two had tattoos on him. And then when they showed him dead, I thought I'm listening to her. Oh, he had a heart attack. And the second time I saw it, I noticed it's he's shooting up heroin. And then I see the needle still in his arm as little kid Cleo is like going, Papa. I'm like, oh, it's an overdose. Oh, I'm an idiot.
He's just self-vaccinated himself under the bridge. It's okay.
It's okay. It was an extremely subtle scene. Oh my god, that made me laugh harder than it.
Why do you need a tourniquet to put on a tattoo?
I didn't notice the tourniquet.
I'm like, man, he just tattooed himself to death.
Also, the fact that the tattoo gun stayed in his forearm.
The first time around, I didn't even notice the fucking needle still stuck on his arm.
Oh my god.
Okay, do you want me to make you feel better? I will make you feel better. This is my most embarrassing movie thing ever. Now, Oscar nominated 50 First Dates.
Oh no.
I didn't know what I didn't fully get what the title meant until about the 10th time that I saw it.
No, I understand. I understand that completely.
That makes you feel any bit better. I just went, woof, and then someone went like, yeah, can you imagine having that many first dates? And I went, I'm a fucking moron. What?
Oh God.
Oh God.
So that's
That's funny though. That's
my
funny.
embarrassing misread of the fucking movie. And I swear to God, everyone I've talked to is like, oh my God, how could you misread that so bad?
That is fantastic.
My friend Kat on Twitter that I always beef with, she was literally like, you're a fucking idiot. That's us talking about celebrities fucking bathing. Yeah, I literally said, like, I barely picked up the second time that Cleo's dad was doing drugs. She's like, he had an injection. I said, I thought he was giving himself a tattoo the first time around and he had a heart attack. She just said, get out.
He had a heart attack while giving himself a tattoo. Oh,
That it was so sick. He had a heart attack from that ink.
His body was like, oh shit, we're done now.
I can't live on knowing how I got this sweet tat, bro.
I ink should go that far.
Oh my God.
Okay, so like,
That's
should have been how the movie actually went.
That's amazing.
So so getting back to the fucking movie. Oh my God.
To transition, we'll just talk about Taika again, because even though he was only on screen for 5 minutes,
I'd say 10 max if you count the scenes with them talking and other stuff. But
the reason he was able to do this was because at the time he was supposed to be directing Akira for Warner Brothers, but then they were like, nah, we're good. So he called up James. He's like, hey, I'm available. Let's do something.
Yeah. Oh man.
Wasn't it because Warner Brothers didn't want Japanese actors?
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is kind of dumb because
Not kind of
really
dumb, like all
really
dumb.
dumb.
it's like it's all the dumb.
Yeah.
Like if you want an American Akira, just call it like Bob.
All right. So I have to ask, Josh.
American Akira exists and it's the lawnmower man. I didn't say it was
Everyone,
good.
stop the track. You're not getting a better line than fucking lawnmower man being brought up in this podcast. Reset the fucking clock.
Anyway, Brock, you were saying
It's gone off the rails.
Josh, did you notice the first time around that Pom Klementov was the red-haired girl in the bar?
Okay, so I did notice, like, because
Yeah.
She-
Tell me about that.
she caught my eye. I was like, oh, she is stunning. Why does she look familiar? Why is it eating me up? And it wasn't until the second time I watched it, like, oh, fuck, it's Pom.
Yep.
yeah, who else is in that scene? Lloyd Kaufman.
Who else? Oh, Lloyd Kaufman.
Oh, okay, nice. But
I really like seeing Palm. I think she's great. That was really fun.
I just like seeing Pom because I think she's one of the most attractive women on the planet.
Mhm. Definitely.
But she is just, there's few more people that I ever see that never look like they're in a bad mood, no matter how they're pictured or anything, than Pom. She always seems like the happiest individual on the planet.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She's awesome. She's just awesome. But
No.
yeah,
I want to ask you guys, because it's been a point of contention. What did you guys think of Harley in this?
I thought she was. I thought she was good. I can't say if she was better here than in Birds of Prey, because that was a movie where she was the focus. But she has a lot of great moments in this, including when she's in that dungeon or prison, whatever. Like that whole like escape when she was like doing the acrobatics, that was all done in one take.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Woo!
And the key thing, James Gunn was on, I want to say it was Jimmy Kimmel. And that is the scene that pissed him off the most in that movie because they were going to get a stunt double to do it. And then Margot Robbie, who is a quite dexterous individual, was like, no, I can do it. And she did that on her first try. And James Gunn is talking about biting his tongue while they're filming it because she's doing it one try and nailed it. And the entire time when she gets up, that fucking puff gets in the way of her face, so it makes it look like a stunt double did it. He's like, I wanted to go in and clip that fucking thing off with a scissors so bad. Like, no one's gonna believe she did it, but she did.
Aww.
I would have never believed it, but
Or just
Same.
the scene after that when they're all gonna like bust her out. Like,
And then she just walks out the front door like,
He's like, well, that's patronizing. It was a really good plan too. My favorite thing about that scene is it's shot really weird because it's shot in a way that what happened in Harley's hallway scene happened completely 100% for real in a weird way. Because she has all the flower explosions and everything happen in the hallway, but then she gets out to the cab when we're back in real life land, and the flowers are still in that hallway.
yeah, I noticed that too.
I was like,
wait
that's a
second.
weird editing choice, but okay.
I really liked Harley in this. I wish she hadn't been separated from the main group so much. I think it would have helped a lot with nailing down the tone. Because I think the one thing I did laugh at this movie was when she was like, and if you have personalized license plates, you will die, and all this stupid ass shit. And I was like, this is exactly what I wanted in this movie.
I am walking forwards and backwards.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, this
back
is
to the original Suicide Squad because the Joker had personalized license plates. Supposedly.
Margot Robbie understood the assignment A+. I think that the scene she was written into, like when you look at the movie as a whole, you're like, yeah, this probably could have been cut. But I don't really want to because they were the things that I thought had the most interesting stuff going on. Like her whole monologue about when she's shooting the guy, and it starts out like, I'm crazy, whatever. And then it devolves into, I have really bad taste in people. And I've noticed that when you start seeing red flags, you got to do something about it. And it actually, that was the closest I got to being like, oh, wow, like, this is pretty impressive. The one thing that did bother me about her was that she was bloodied up, but it was like a beautiful, artful blood splatter or smear, like, down the side of her mouth. And I was like, oh, come on. She'd been tortured for like 6 hours.
Yeah.
She always looks too beautiful, considering that she hadn't bathed in like 5 days and was basically slapped into a dress straight out of a pig. I was like, Jesus Christ, movie.
Like, I will say, personally speaking, I think this is Margot's best performance overall as Harley.
Oh, yeah.
Like like for me, the first time around, I think it's also just due to just David Ayer's aesthetic and what I think he wanted to do versus what the studio ended up doing. But I do not like her in the first Suicide Squad movie. In fact, I consider that like one of the biggest character assassinations since turning Galactus into the Cloud. Like, just everything about it just doesn't feel right. And then you get to Birds of Prey, which I think is a step in the right direction. And I think, personally speaking, she's written a little bit better in that.
I feel like it's a marathon in the right direction.
Yeah. But like fucking Suicide Squad, I think at this point, she's already like, all right, I know what works. I know what doesn't in this. She doesn't have a lot of time, but I know how to do it one-to-one now. And this is the point where I think she's completely owned the character. Because there were bits in Birds of Prey where I thought, she kind of slipped there a little. But then again, when you have the whole movie focus on you, eventually you're going to slip up here and there.
Yeah, like, I was going to compare just briefly Birds of Prey to the fourth Pirates of the Caribbean movie in that you're taking the kind of comedic side character and building a movie around them. I think Birds of Prey is a much better movie, but
I was about to say, like,
Yeah.
I've never heard anybody compare Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides to anything and have it be a positive.
The pure gear halt that I saw in Josh's face go, boy, what the fuck are you talking about?
I ask this because a lot of people have some very interesting takes on Harley in this movie. Like, people read that she was she had Stockholm syndrome.
No. Stockholm syndrome, you wouldn't have shot the person the second you realized he was going to torture kids.
Also, there wasn't, this is coming from my perspective, there's not enough plot in this movie to determine, like, why she did half of the stuff she did in that house. It's not like Beauty and the Beast where she's there for 45 minutes and we get like a montage of like 5 years going on. Yeah. She's there for a day.
I would have loved that, though, just a montage, implying that whole montage took like a week.
That would have been great.
Slowly making their way through the jungle.
And it's honestly, in all seriousness, it's really dangerous for people to say that, oh, she had Stockholm syndrome, or oh, she was R word, because then it takes credibility away from actual, people who have suffered from that.
And in my opinion, it's like, take a step back. That is not what this was at all.
I hated this movie, and I would even say that's an extreme stretch.
And considering what Harley's known backstory is, you're going to compare this and say this is Stockholm syndrome
to
her actual Stockholm syndrome.
Like, are you for real?
Like, literally, the first movie, everything in that first movie, Harley was groomed. So, like, to say that this is the more problematic one, where she's in full control and agency of herself, it's like, are you do you have a starfish on your face? Are you, what the,
That's code name for a butthole. If there's any connection.
Like, sorry to bring it to a screeching halt, but just, I say that because I love Harley in this.
Yeah.
And holy crap, even though she's only been in 3 movies, Margot feels like she's been Harley for years.
Oh, yeah.
Like, in, 12 movies.
Yep.
Yeah, she's got it really down. Like, she's a delight. I already said she's a national treasure. She's a national treasure.
Did you guys have it telegraphed the second that I knew Javelin was going to die because they showed Harley with a javelin in the freaking trailers, but B, that she was going to stab Starro in the eye the second that she had that spear in her hand?
Oh, it's totally telegraphed.
For like the whole movie.
Didn't they show a shot in the trailer of her, like?
No, they didn't.
They show her inside it afterwards, but they don't show her stabbing it itself. They do show a quick shot of the rat swimming when she's inside of it, but they don't show where she is.
Like, for me, like, I genuinely thought what they were going to do, I thought what James Gunn was going to do, like, in some way, like, it would be totally him to have all the absolutely stupid characters make it out, but all the ones that could be construed as a bit of a badass would fucking die. So people like Bloodsport and, Rick Flag and all those more militaristic types of characters, they would have fucking bitten the dust. But you have characters like Javelin and Polka Dot Man and Weasel, like, they would have made it out, like, unscathed. I thought that would have been brilliant. But what we got, I'm personally happy with what we got.
Yeah, I have a question. I told Mike this, and I think he genuinely agreed with me. Out of, at least in the DCU, and I think altogether in the DC movies, is this possibly the worst death? Think about what actually happens of a DC villain ever. Like, think about how Starro dies.
I'd say it's pretty it's pretty brutal.
Eaten from the inside out by 3,000 rats.
And then having your eyeball fill with blood. Like, that got me. Like, the rats,
up there.
The rats, that's gross, but that's been kind of happening. The eyeball blood, I was just like, ugh.
Oh, I was just like that. In fact, I'm just like I was cringing. I'm like, that is so gross because the whole brunt of what's actually happening to Starro in my head. I'm like, ugh.
Like, I just think about how, in my opinion, Starro was completely justified in going off.
Mhm.
Like, just taking into account, seeing the movie multiple times, I picked up the line when all of Starro's subjects, all of Greaves' subjects, are talking to
Right when
To all of them?
Ratcatcher and
Flag,
Flag are walking in.
and they're
To the
just
lab?
like, "Is it you, Greaves? Have you brought more, more people? Please save us. He's experimented on us, tortured us, had his way with us." And then it cuts to the Thinker going like,
He's here to kill you. Sorry, bud.
but just like the fact that he has a reaction shot after that last bit, it's like, this poor starfish.
Like, okay, I disagree with Josh on this point. I'm not sure if you guys got the same impression, but he thinks that the Thinker had his way with Starro.
What do you
That
mean?
was my understanding of it.
I don't
not
want
alone.
to think about that.
Like, you don't want to think about that, but that adds like a whole nother layer of scumfuckery to Gaius Greaves, especially when you consider they talk about the Nazi connection with Jotunheim in general.
I'm looking at Brock.
Okay,
right
I didn't pick up the Nazi connection because I was just like, oh my god, I would like to watch Thor now. But now I'm like, oh, that's moderately clever. Oh, good work, movie.
Starro, immediately after being taken advantage of and just poked and prodded for decades by this fucking like perverted piece of shit, ripping him
by
in half
British
with-
Rick Sanchez.
Oh my god.
Oh god. When you put it that way.
Except which I have to go off for a second. I really, really, really did not like this version of the Thinker. I love his casting. I think he's a really, really good actor for the Thinker, but the way they use him is just garbage because my only exposure to the Thinker is from the Flash series, the CW series, and he is so cool in the CW series. And
I'm seeing Brock just turn into the equivalent of that GIF with the woman with the math equations going on.
I'm in a higher plane of reality right now. The problem is, and I think I kind of talked about this with Mike, is I don't think you would have got the Thinker in a DC movie if he didn't show up in this movie.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
I think you got the Thinker in the Flash for as much as you got out of him because they finally went, do something other than a fucking speedster. After a while.
Yeah.
Like,
how do you top running fast? Thinking fast.
Thinking fast.
I got a really cool
I got a big brain.
But it's just like going from that where he's like constantly 2,000 steps ahead of Barry at all times, because I don't even think I finished that season.
No, we did.
We did?
Yeah, he got to the whole thing where he was jumping bodies like he was
Yeah. But like
that's when I fell off from that character.
Same here. But like still, I mean, his whole build-up is really, really good. From what I remember, it has been a long time, but still, jumping from this guy who cannot be beat because he's so smart to
big brain energy
to literally just be like, I fucked a star.
To be fair, he is a guy that's smart enough to genetically work on a alien starfish for several decades, not get caught, do all this stuff. He is smart. The problem with a movie versus a TV show is we get roughly 20 hours with one character and 20 minutes with the other.
But at the same time, he's also dumb enough to let a whole bunch of dumbasses strong arm him and completely tear apart, like he says, 30 years of...
But I think the brilliance of that is that as smart as he is, he's brought down by the one weakness anybody has. They're Johnson.
But that doesn't even play it. It's barely.
But also, okay, Kristal, I'm going to put it this way. If all of a sudden the Thinker was doing something, and then, let's be real here, randomly Arrow came across them in a bar and went, I don't care about the legal system. Get your fucking ass over here. The Flash show falls apart. It's a point where you got to deal with 6 people versus 1 that...
Yeah, and especially when they talk when he makes a thing like, oh, you think I'm going to go with you? It's like, well, if you don't, I got a great white out in the back that's looking for some chum.
Yeah, it's like Barry wasn't going to shoot him. That's what makes the Flash show go on for a while. That's the difference. Bloodsport would have just shot him.
Okay, I kind of see that. I like dismantling that kind of character. Like, ha ha ha! I've been 5 steps ahead of you the whole time.
It's like, look,
I do get what you're saying. He did get a lot more opportunity to actually show his prowess in the Flash TV show versus this.
Yeah,
that is very, very true.
Yeah, and just coming from someone who knows nothing about the Flash TV show, I would have appreciated a little more development of how that guy was so intelligent, because a lot of what we get is textual. Like, I've been here for 30 years with this alien starfish that I've been assaulting, apparently. It doesn't really sell you a whole lot on him being a great thinker.
The most subtle thing that I think they did to show his intelligence, though, was when everybody's talking in Spanish, and then the Thinker interjects in English, just in the fact that he was still able to understand them, even
he's
though
bilingual. Big whoop. Who cares? That's like 90% of the population in El Paso.
But I still mean, like, if for nothing else, my personal headcanon is that he's so smart. He's in another dimension where he can read the subtitles in the movie. So as he's reading along with all of them, like, that's when he comes in, an excellent idea, Presidente.
Can I see your version of the movie where Taika Waititi dies via terrible tattoo injection and read the subtitles on the screen?
And to be fair, Kristal, you still can see that version of the Thinker, considering they are 2 different versions of the Thinker. They're even different people.
I was about to bring that up.
Yeah.
That is true. This one's Gaius Grieve. That one was Clifford DeVoe, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And I will say one thing that I liked about how they ended it is that it was like, dude, I was just happy looking at stars, and y'all ripped me into a spaceship.
Yeah.
This is one of the ones where I was like, the villain's got a good point here.
Yeah.
Y'all did some dirt.
So, are we to believe that in this universe, Starro is, well, for lack of a better term, innocent?
No. But
not innocent, but well reasoned.
He was justified going off as soon as he got out of the hole in the ground. It was just like, you guys fucked me up.
Yeah.
I just see humans. You guys fucked me up. I'm gonna go fuck you up.
Yeah. And I asked one. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I kind of viewed Starro as like a kaiju kind of character, which
he's definitely framed like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wasn't thinking about him so much as like he's thinking this. I was thinking of him more like a caged animal who's been beaten down for many years, and you let them out and they're like just mad. And from that perspective, I was like, yeah, okay, do you, Starro. That's cool. Yeah.
It's like when you think of the T-Rex in the Lost World. I never thought I'd compare the Suicide Squad to the Lost World. But if you think about it, that's a T-Rex separated from its family. And then as soon as it's let loose after just chasing a meal and then kidnapped, as soon as it's let loose, it's just like, fuck you. Fuck you. You separated me from my family.
Fuck you.
The Lost World is secretly a drama.
But is it a Western?
If you look at it in the right coloring.
Yes.
So I asked Mike this during our review. What did you guys think of the Suicide Squad ragtag of random, mostly C and D level villains, their adversary being the thing that brought the Justice League together for the first time in comics?
I thought that was perfect.
I wish I knew more about this side of DC
it's
Comics.
Because in the
Starro was was the big thing that it took the entire Justice League to take down.
Yep.
Their
I
first
love
big
the
enemy was
concept of
Starro.
that.
Yeah.
I
Like,
kind of love that.
Yeah.
Like for the Avengers, it was just a guy in green tights. It was just like ooh hoo hoo. But for this one, it's like it's a fucking starfish. We need Superman. We need the Green Lantern. Get Lasso Lady.
Lasso Lady.
Lasso Lady versus Starfish tonight on WWE SmackDown.
No holds barred.
Hell in a Cell.
I love how it progressed like into that insanity though, because for me at least, the other problem that I did have with the movie the first time around was the pacing with the title cards.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like I loved the title cards just because, you know, Blizzard brain. So seeing Michael Rooker's head explode into the Warner Brothers Pictures Presents logo, I was just saying, okay, so
That's pretty creative how they did that.
And just seeing that go on throughout the movie, like at least initially when I first saw it, I was like, okay, this is fucking cool. But then after a while, I was like, okay, but we're halting the momentum of the story. I would really like to get back to like the momentum. And it wasn't until like they get to Project Starfish where I felt like, okay, you didn't need a title card there. The 8 minutes earlier, I feel like we would have gotten the point if we didn't have that. But then multiple times watching it, I've heard people talk about how it feels like like the introduction to different issues and like a multi-issue like limited series.
Yeah.
So
I described my experience watching this as like a 6-issue trade paperback come to life.
And with that, like I appreciated the pacing a little bit better, and that problem went away for me as time goes on. But I do think the non-linearity at some points does bring the movie down just a smidgen, but at the same time, I wouldn't know how you would improve that. Like for me, I love it, but like I also understand it is a bit of a limitation in the story. But I do love how the story progresses with the threat, where you just think, oh, it's just an invasion. Oh, it's just taking down the government. Oh, it's taking down secrets. To, oh, it's taking down a fucking alien.
Mhm.
Like, the stakes always got risen as the movie went on. And I really appreciated that type of progression with the story in that respect. And when it gets down to that whole third act, I think it's probably one of the best third acts of all the DC movies. And I say this as someone that loves Wonder Woman 84 and the fact that the third act isn't even a big fight with Gal Gadot and Pedro Pascal. Like, if you're going to do like a big creature destroying the city, like most other superhero movies, at least be weird with it.
You know what this reminded me of? Just in terms of like the weirdness, Doom Patrol.
Yes.
Like I was thinking about this earlier. If there wasn't already like a Doom Patrol series on HBO Max, James Gunn would have totally done a Doom Patrol movie.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Like I could see James Gunn having fun with Robot Man and Brain. But like that kind of weirdness, literally like seeing Starro and then having a Bloodsport be like, you see that right there? It's your mom. And then it cuts to the giant her. I was just thinking in my mind, this reminds me so much of the giant rat and the giant cockroach, or the staring eye contest.
Yeah. Question, and I didn't realize this until someone brought it up. Do you think secretly in the back of James's brain that he gave Bloodshot his own Captain America in the first Avengers moment when he's giving out the assignments?
No,
Probably.
I think that was intentional.
I was just like, the Hulk smash is essentially, bad guy is nom nom.
And
take the high ground. That's your mom.
And I got to give credit to James Gunn and the director of photography, Henry Braham, who shot Guardians Volume 2, aka one of the most stunning looking comic book movies ever.
Easily.
Because this movie looks amazing, I think.
Yep.
And at the same time, it's so chaotic that, like, in my opinion, the camera work should fall apart, but it doesn't in a weird way. Like, the way he makes, in my opinion, like, I've seen a lot of directors come really close to doing moments in action, or even like in like cutting and everything, make it feel like you're reading panels on a comic page. Like, you have your Zack Snyders, you have everybody else try to do that, and for the most part they succeed. But this movie came probably the damn closest to making splash pages feel real.
Are you talking about the scene in the rain where everyone is like walking in slow motion?
There's that, the shot where, you know, Killer Shark or the King Shark, he rips the guy in half when the stars are coming out of Starro's armpit, and it slow-mos for a little bit. But like, just even then, like how he makes every cut feel like you're reading different panels. And it has probably my favorite, most absolutely batshit insane shot in the whole movie, and that's saying something. Where, and if you've seen this, you know what I'm talking about, but if you haven't, so it's like a Dutch angle where an office building is starting to come down, it's flooded, and Harley Quinn and Polka Dot Man are clinging to stuff while Harley is ripping off colorful jellyfish from King Shark as the building's starting to go down. It's a blink and you'll miss it shot. But when I saw it, I just started giggling the whole time because I was thinking, we're at this point in comic book movies where we can have something so fucking outrageous and yet it feels absolutely natural.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could never see any movie in the 80s trying to pull this off. Mm-hmm. The only one that comes close is probably Dick Tracy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sure.
Yeah, the technicals on this are absolutely superb.
Yeah.
I want to say something positive about this movie now. The technicals are stunning. Like, I think that we kind of talked about the shot of Harley in the hallway and all the flowers are coming after her and of the weird reality bending going on there. But the Harley with the guns with the flowers coming out behind her is like the closest I've ever seen to like a shoujo panel in an American movie.
Yeah.
Like, that was your live action grimy revolutionary girl Utena moment. Like, that was spectacular. This movie looks really, really good. And I do agree that it's the closest that an American film has come to really embodying a comic book style presentation.
And I'm absolutely excited that Henry Braham is shooting Andy Muschietti's The Flash.
Ooh,
Nice.
I can't wait to see what it looks like now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even the editing, like, I love the fact that this movie was co-edited by Fred Raskin, who's done Tarantino's recent movies from Django onwards. And in my opinion, I think he's a better fit with James Gunn. Because you always get the feeling that Tarantino's in the back, like, no, let that shot go on a little longer. No, like, cut right here. No, like, this has to have, like, a proper rhythm. Versus James Gunn is always like, dude, just cut it however you think works.
Yeah.
Like even down to like how they know how to edit to the beat of music without meaning to. And then that brings me to the music, just the score.
Mm-hmm.
This is by John Murphy, which I find interesting because it was going to be originally composed by Tyler Bates, but I don't know what happened there. But mid-production, they replaced him with John Murphy, who did 28 Days Later and Sunshine.
Ooh.
And the thing I appreciated about this score is that it's not your standard superhero fanfare. Like, I listened to the Stephen Price soundtrack from the 2016 one to compare like how you do like a guerrilla street level kind of thing like this. And that one is so bland. Like, it just feels like it could go with any superhero. But this one has like kind of, I say it in my review, it's like a garage punk band being given the opportunity of a lifetime with a limitless budget. Just down to the electric guitar, just kind of twang to it. And my personal favorite musical piece, it plays twice in the movie. It's when after they get crashed off the side of the road and Ratcatcher comes out, and then it pushes in right as the drums go off. And it has probably one of my favorite shots also where, like it pushes in and the drums start kicking up and then the horns kick in, where Bloodsport, Rick, Flag, and Peacemaker walk out. And it's that cool wide shot where they walk out with the guns and it feels like it's straight out of an Arnold movie.
Mm-hmm.
And that also plays like when they decide to turn back and go fight Starro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My favorite musical part, and I told Mike this, and I got like chills listening to it, was that scene where King Shark walks up and goes in the aquarium and you hear that weird, like, I don't even know how to describe it, just kind of like wavy as he's looking through, watching all the like piranha-esque things forming in there. And he's going through just like, this is a random throwaway scene and it's got my favorite musical bit in the entire movie. I like, this should not be this good. Like just the regular score, the songs that were chosen, I was really scared. Because I was like, I'm like internally in the back of my head, one thing that pissed me off in the Suicide Squad originally was just that they just threw music in. And then I'm like, James, you're really good at picking music. Please don't let this be the one time where for some reason you have a lapse of judgment. And then when the music started and Folsom Prison Blues was playing, I'm just like, you know what? We're going to be okay.
Yeah, because that's when you knew that, like, this is James Gunn's specialty. Him and like Richard Linklater are kind of...
Yeah.
They're great at like knowing when to drop these needle drops.
Yeah, but I did have a joke with my roommate where they're fighting Starro, the starfish, and then I turned to my roommate and I went, "They're not going to play Limp Bizkit, and that's a missed opportunity." But it's just like, no, it's all right.
I do want to point out the Folsom Prison song, because I think the most impressive feat of like music and sound in this movie was the fact that the ball that Michael Rooker was bouncing up and down was on beat the entire time. Like that was crazy to me.
I think
like I
go ahead.
Sorry?
No, you go ahead.
Oh no, that was just it. I was really impressed by the fact that the editing managed to have that ball bounce sound beat on the beat of Folsom Prison Blues in the background the entire time.
I was going to say, like, I think James Gunn does that, like, intentionally. Like, when they're shooting, he has the music play in the background, so that way everybody feels the music. I know there's, like, a featurette on HBO Max, which is really good. It's called...
Okay.
What's it called? What the fuck was it called? It wasn't Guns A-Blazing, because I wrote that. Fuck you, HBO Max. But
The Way of the Gun.
The Way of the Gun. And
Interesting.
They show like that shot where like everybody's walking down with the American flag in the background, and they have the score playing, and you see on the monitors like the singles of like Captain Boomerang and TDK and everything. They're walking in normal speed, but at the same time you hear the music in the background, and you can see like as they're walking, James is like, "All right, play it." And as they're playing, as they're walking, they just start turning with a smile, like.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because I thought that was an editing thing, and I was like, "Whoa."
Well,
Like it's something like to do with the editing, like even with the sound design, like when it cuts to the white and Savant's like throwing the ball and then like.
Yeah, I highly doubt that they actually did that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, that's all it is.
I do believe that was editing.
But if like with that stuff, it's always really impressive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, this movie sucks because Captain Boomerang didn't make it, so I'm giving it a 2 out of 10.
What a reversal!
I do have to admit, I like when they had this big cast and like 90% of them were killed in that opening scene. I'm like, are they gonna in media res this and we're at the jail for 40 minutes? And then nope, nope, we're just going forward. We only go back to the jail for like 5 minutes. That's it. Like, holy shit.
Like, I felt so bad too because I did keep my eye on Pete Davidson because I remember I showed my nephews the trailers, And they were just like, wait, there's another one? And then my middle youngest, his name's Logan, he sees Pete Davidson as Blackheart. He's like, Pete Davidson! I love Pete Davidson! Oh, I'm going to see this!
Oh, dear.
So then I'm keeping an eye out, and the second, like, his face just fucking pops, I was just thinking, he's gonna hate this, but he's also gonna love this. And I swear to God, I'm gonna say this here on the website. I almost wrote, when I was talking about individual performances, I almost wrote that Pete Davidson's the one to look out for. That he gives a truly mind-blowing performance.
I see what you did there.
I thought he was great.
Personally ashamed that you didn't.
Like, you don't want to spoil anything.
How would that spoil it?
To be fair, they didn't. He would say it'll melt your face or blow your face off, or like he wasn't technically on point.
Exactly.
Now, if we would have said Michael Rooker gave a mind-blowing performance,
that would be.
Yeah.
One thing I want to say before anything, I personally thought that Viola Davis was way better here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And a large part of that is that literally I would have hated this movie from the outset if all the movie was Amanda Waller's fault again.
Yeah.
Because Haylee, you haven't seen the original one. So
it's been years is more what it's like. I don't remember it.
Literally, it's all her fault. And she's just like, look, we need to have a Suicide Squad. Why? Because this happened. But when you think about it, it's like, wait, that's your fucking fault. And she's just like, well, I told you something like this would happen. That's why it's a good thing that we have these people, right?
Yeah.
Schrodinger's Suicide Squad.
But that's David Ayer's one. This one, I just love how much of a callous bitch Amanda Waller is.
Yeah.
This is the first time it felt like she was Amanda Waller.
And she wasn't just Viola Davis.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad they didn't make her have a change of heart at the end when they were all turning around. I'm like, if she hesitates to press that button, I'm going to be really pissed off.
Just
and
when
then
she was going off.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, no, they have one of her workers crack her in the head. I'm like, okay, good.
That's the thing we haven't brought up yet. The workers at Argus, I think, were probably some of my favorite side characters. And I don't know if everyone here has seen Cabin in the Woods, but their introduction when they're like making the Deadpool, placing bets, that is totally the the workers behind the camera.
Yeah, I liked the Cabin in the Woods vibe of that and kind of wanted the movie to lean into something more like that. But like more of the like having the Waller side and the actual mission be a little more intertwined than just Waller kind of yelling at them over an intercom, you know?
Right.
And even then, it gives way to some of my favorite moments just through that. Like, every time I see Weasel die, just the reactions from Viola Davis, Steve Agee, and Jennifer Holland, just holding on those silences, and then just seeing Jennifer Holland's face just like, it fucking kills me every time. And seeing that with an audience, it never fails to get a laugh. That and the very first thing that you hear from Weasel, which up until that point, everybody's just like, okay, we're strapped in. These are villains. Okay. And then suddenly here, it immediately throws everybody the fuck off in the best way. But literally when she's yelling at them, and she's just like, turn the fuck around. You motherfuckers. This is your last fucking warning. I got chills every time because I'm thinking, oh, Viola Davis came to play. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking about the interviews where James Gunn was talking about, I was afraid to give her notes after a take because she was so like electric. Like I would have killed to be a fly on the wall and just seeing Viola's anger. in those sentences because you only hear it. But I would have loved to have seen that.
Same.
Yep. Yeah.
And
Mike has mentioned that he'd like to see a TV show of just Argus when they send the people out.
Yep.
oh, that would be cool. If the last thing, I guess, like I don't know if are we running a little late with this?
It feels like we're winding down.
The one thing that I really love that people are hoping for, because James Gunn, like Warner Brothers, is always like already like, look, even though it's not doing well because of a pandemic and everything else, you know, we got critical praise. James Gunn's coming back. He's gonna do more projects with us. We know it. I almost don't want him to return to another Suicide Squad movie because I think it would be absolutely brilliant if the Suicide Squad was just like the DC Universe's version of Mission Impossible, where you get a different director and they do their own take. You know, for David Ayer, at least his attempt before the studio mangled it, and even his version, I'm not sure. It was like gritty urban warfare. And for James Gunn, it was an intergalactic, like full-on 70s war movie.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see a different director take on the Suicide Squad sequel. What would you guys think?
I have thought about this. It will never happen. But one of my favorite movies of all time, and I have said this many times, is Snatch. I would die if top of his game Guy Ritchie got to do a Suicide Squad film.
Ooh, that would be really good.
I want it.
I would totally fuck with that.
I want it.
Like I said, I have the Sergeant Rock script, so.
Speaking of Mission Impossible, I don't know if like the bridge has been burnt between these two, but I would love if Christopher McQuarrie came in and did a take on the Suicide Squad.
I can see that
Especially
working.
if Tom Cruise like showed up to break every bone in his body again to do stunts for it.
Oh yeah, no, that's like priority number one.
Yeah, he's got to lead the Suicide Squad on this one.
He has to know what has to happen is he's going to put in his contract that he has to actually die on film.
I get slightly concerned for Tom Cruise sometimes doing all of this. It seems to be going too far, but then I go see a Mission Impossible movie and I'm like, damn, he still got it.
Yeah.
Like, I think Tom Cruise, since Rick Flag is dead, he would be a perfect like Sergeant Rock in that sense.
Yeah, like an updated Sergeant Rock.
Because I'll admit, when they were announcing the cast, and Sylvester Stallone's name came in, I remember thinking, who the fuck did they get Sylvester Stallone to play? Well, you know, it would make sense because Gunn loves like the war aesthetic if they got him to play Sergeant Rock. I mean, it's the only thing that makes sense. And then I see the trailer. Oh, he's Killer Shark. He's King Shark. Okay.
Yeah.
But like, this is my pitch, guys. Suicide Squad, the threequel. Call it a Suicide Squad or something like that. I don't know. The first movie was gritty urban warfare. The second one was a 70s war movie with aliens. This one, and Warner Brothers, my DMs are open. I may not approve of your practices, but I do approve of writing. So this one, make it a heist film.
I like where you're going.
With stuff like, you know, Ocean's 11 and, you know, Heat and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. You have Amanda Waller trying to do deals and like trying to uncover stuff in the black market. And she assembles a squad to pick up like a set of kryptonite or something like that. And it's this big thing, almost like a like this big underground thing, almost like the hotel or like the world of John Wick, where like you need to know like the right shit to get in. And she assembles like D-list characters that manage to like get in there and, you know, manage to make their ways into these like seedy parts where it's like high society almost. And it's just this thing about trying to out-thieve the other thieves, because you know that like everybody that shows up at like this like auction or something like that, they're also planning their own thing to steal everything. You have Harley Quinn as like the fucking, you know, the wild card, but also, you know, the person inside because of her prestige with the Joker. You have Condiment King, who can get into the kitchen.
Shut up. Shut the
No,
fuck
it would
up
work.
right now.
It would work.
Shut the fuck up.
Just shut. God, fucking
And then you have Livewire, who, you know, she handles fucking electronics and shit. I
This
haven't thought this far
motherfucker's
ahead.
pulling out Condiment King.
But yeah, come on, at some point we have to include him in this. I'm almost surprised that he wasn't in like Belle Reeve.
Hey, as long as we include Snowflame as a drug dealer, I'll be okay.
And you know what? Let's include Poison Ivy too.
Fuck yes.
Could do that.
In my opinion, that's the only way to move forward with Harley at this point.
Yeah. You have no other options.
Who would play Poison Ivy?
If you want to know who I kind of want, but it wouldn't
Who?
happen. And now her name just escaped me. Jessica Chastain.
I could
Yeah,
see
that's the popular choice.
Or a younger Julianne Moore.
me. I would really like if we want to go exotic, or like if we want to go like a little bit out there, because DC's starting to like really branch out with their big characters like Leslie Gordon playing Batgirl. Like I would, or Leslie Grace, I think is her name.
Yep.
I think, in my opinion, if you want to go out there in that sense, I would love to see Ana de Armas play Anna Ivy.
That's a good one.
Gosh, that's too much for me. Oh.
That's a really good one.
I know she's not super known out here, but the Korean singer Sunmi would be an excellent choice for Poison Ivy as well if we were going a little more.
How do you spell that?
Isn't she starting?
Sunmi.
Isn't she starting to break into film?
She's been doing some acting in Korea itself, but not much. She's more focused on the scene side.
I could see that.
She's pretty famous for you've probably seen on TikTok the and she's got the gun. She's like boop 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 boop. That was a terrible version of that song.
It's all good.
See that?
But like, yeah, that's my pitch. A heist movie with supervillains, Warner Brothers. My DMs are open.
I'd be okay with that because I want some randos that would just be only okay for this kind of stuff. Like, I badly want to see them take another crack at a female version of Copperhead like they did in Arkham Origins and like some random stuff like that.
That would be fucking cool. And then like maybe the main villain would be Slade Wilson.
I literally talked to Mike about that during our review. I'm like, make it someone street level.
Which apparently in the concept art in the Way of the Gun on HBO Max, you can see in the background as James is pitching to the production team like the first sequence of the movie, you can see concept art of the beach. And originally Deathstroke was going to be like Bloodsport's role. Like that.
Huh.
I'm a little happy that they didn't though, because I know everybody would be complaining.
They would, but part of me also at some point wants to see Ravager in a Suicide Squad film. So I wouldn't mind Deathstroke being properly in the DC at some point.
Fucking, you know who I would put in my Suicide Squad? I know the one I would put in. I'm really pulling from shit here. I would put the Great White Shark.
Oh, the weird pale-faced dude with the shark teeth?
Yes. Like, that would be the one that I would make kind of the de facto, like, kind of leader of the group in that, oh, yeah, I know how to get in there. Like, trust me, I know this high society stuff. I ran this shit before they threw me in Arkham. And then before they threw me into Belle Reeve. Look, I know how to get the fuck in there. I know the right, like, ways to schmooze with everybody. And then because he's been so out of date with everything, and on top of that, because of how weird he looks, he would get killed in a back alley.
Oh, Oh, I could be okay with that.
And then they would throw him in a fucking lake, and then that would be like the thing, like, oh, what? Like Amanda would be in the intercom team. What happened with a white shark? Oh, he's swimming with the fishes now.
That's like in The Punisher after John Travolta throws his wife in front of the oncoming monorail. What happened? Mom had to catch a train.
Oh my god.
But no, like that's what they make more Suicide Squad films. I want it to be like one or two known people, and then the rest are just like what this was. A bunch of people you could not care less about. Like Electrocutioner, for crying out loud.
Like, this film made me, just like how Loki made me really excited for the future of Marvel, the Suicide Squad makes me excited for the future of DC, because now it just feels like they learned their lessons to an extent from trying to copy Marvel and also trying to stick to only one person's vision for the whole universe. And in my opinion, DC's been dropping banger after banger. Like, I'm on record saying I love Aquaman. I love Wonder Woman 84. Shazam is amazing. And Joker, I'm one of the few people that does like it, but I can understand why people
I
don't.
love it.
Same.
So, like, now they're leaning more into director-driven freedom. And I swear to God, WB, I swear to fucking God, if you fuck up my boy Jaime Reyes, I'm probably still going to watch your movies.
But I'm going to complain about it on Twitter,
I
damn
will
it.
complain about it.
I will run for
I'll run for governor.
No, I will secede Texas and I will declare war against WB.
No, it has seemed after they were like, you know what, we're gonna turn kind of weirdly back into the mid 90s and early 2000s where we just made movies because we wanted to make movies. They weirdly went in the opposite direction and somehow became better.
And who knows? Maybe one day they will go back to like a more, a more consistent shared universe. But for now, I'm really liking the more throw shit at the wall and see what sticks method.
Yeah.
Like,
and you could still randomly throw people in other stuff. Just don't be like, this happened exactly 24 days after this one and 2 months before this one. Just be like, oh, randomly whoever showed up in this movie.
Because really, that's how a comics shared universe works. Like, like they all we all understand that they all take place in the same universe, but it's not like if you don't read Green Lantern 79, you're not going to understand Batman 64.
Yeah, and it gets to a point of stupidity to where one of my biggest complaints is every now and then people are like, no one showed up in this movie. I'm like, you have to understand, comics don't work for Marvel if you have something happen in New York. Every fucking Marvel hero is based in New York. If there's a carjacker, he's going to be screwed up 7 ways from Sunday from 38 different people within the first 2 blocks. And then, so if they just have random people show up, it works.
I mean, literally pulling from that, like I said, Blue Beetle. Literally, I have all of Jaime's stories after Infinite Crisis, which is a big thing in the Marvel universe, or no, in the DC universe. But like, you don't need to buy Infinite Crisis to know completely what happens here, because the way Keith Geffen and John Rogers worked it, it's just like, look, you don't need that. It's just a nice added bonus. But they even go through it in their own version in the comics. So that way it's like, hey, you're not lost. The character was gone for a year. Here's what happened. This is Jaime explaining it the way that he went through it. It's not about to say, oh, so hold on, we got to play fucking all of Infinite Crisis at this point. It's like, no.
Ninja Turtles. I will complain about that all day.
Don't worry, they'll just reboot it in another year because people are lost.
I mean the comics.
What?
Oh, the comics are just a total... That's a topic for another day.
Yeah.
In conclusion, for me, I made this post like after watching it the first time, but Suicide Squad is one of the top 4 comic book movies for me. For me, like in no particular order, I think I put the 90s Ninja Turtles movie, The Adventures of Tintin, Guardians of the Galaxy, and The Suicide Squad. That's my personal aesthetic for comic book movies that I absolutely adore. And you can pull, well, Tintin's not really a comic book movie. No, it is.
No,
It
it
is.
is. Yeah, it's 100%.
And it's James Gunn's world, and that can be a lot for people. It can also be a lot for people in a good way or in a bad way. And for me, it hit all the right notes. And by the end, I didn't cry, but I still got choked up every time I hear Taika's line where he says, she asks in the flashback, like, why rats, Papa? And Taika says, because rats are the most vile and disgraced creatures, my love. If they have purpose, so do we all.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at it from the outside with James Gunn's whole thing that happened with him when he was like a controversial figure back in 2018, I can't help but look at it from that lens as him coming to terms with his past, as well as everything that he had to deal with, and in a sense, finding love.
Mm-hmm.
And for me personally, that message, it just hits me in all the right moments, and I get really teary-eyed when I think about it, because it shows that Gunn at his core does believe that people can change for the better. And you have to want to change. And I think that's why, for me, the emotional beats hit, especially the very end where Bloodsport pets the rat. And it's not as emotional as Guardians Volume 2, but I think the ideas that he presents, it's some of his most optimistic that he's ever tried to do, even if I do think like it could have been more emotional. But it's that notch that makes it probably one of my personal favorite comic book movies and my favorite DC movie.
Nice. So Haylee, after this podcast, I doubt you're going to see this a second time, but have you at least been nudged in the other direction than when we started?
No, but I really enjoyed hearing this conversation. I really enjoyed hearing all the things that people loved about it. And I said it earlier, and the more I think about it, the more it's true. I think if I found this movie funny, I would have been able to paper over a lot of the things that I'm thinking about it. So to people listening, I think you'll know if this movie is on your humor wavelength in the first 15 minutes. And if it's not, just kind of bounce out. It's not going to be for you. But if it is, you're probably not going to hold much stake in the criticisms I had, because if this kind of atmosphere humor works for you, this is the best made representation of something like this.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I said this both on the 0 Hour review and my Letterboxd review, that the gauge for how much you're going to like this movie is, in my opinion, which of the 2 Guardians of the Galaxy movies you prefer. I imagine if you lean more towards Volume 2, then you will probably love this movie. But if you're more a Guardians 1 person, this might be a bit too much Gunn. But since I lean more towards Volume 2, I had an absolute blast with this one.
Yep.
And Brock, your final thoughts?
It's in the tops for me. I rotate with these quite a bit, but it's like number 1 in. It's not. I think it would be, honestly, if we're going to throw this out, is Deadpool 1, Endgame, this is going to get really choppy here, but Batman Begins.
Okay.
I can see that.
Correct choice.
Your opinion's about to change. Batman Forever.
No, you know what?
I'll
God,
defend that
okay.
one.
I'll take it, but
That to me is when the movie knew it was campy and ran with it, and then it fell off the fucking tracks with Batman and Robin, and then this. But to me, Batman Begins, and me and Mike agree with this, Batman Begins is a great Batman movie. Then it switches to Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises, which are Christopher Nolan movies that happen to have Batman in them.
Yep.
But,
agreed.
yeah, and then, yeah, it hits to that. But, yeah, I
Though
really...
The Dark Knight is a better adaptation of The Long Halloween.
There you go.
That I will give it. But
yeah, but yeah, no, it hit like, and I'll agree with Haylee 100% on that. It's if you do not like certain humors, this movie is not going to hit with you 100%. 100%, you're going to hate it within minutes. And like you said, within the first parts, like I said, if you're not laughing at like TDK getting his arm shot, you're not going to like the rest of this movie, because that is the gauge of the type of humor that's in it. You're not going to have a good time. I'm straight up just not having a good time. That's pretty much what it is. But I did enjoy it, and it's it brings up a thing to where how much freedom directors should have, and people are going to have different opinions on that. And I think that is a case by case basis. I'm just happy that the film got made, because I think it was very, what I want to say, liberating for James to get to make this, compared to the time period in his life of what this was. And this really felt like he was just getting out what he really wanted to make. And it gets me excited to see how much Gunn we get in the third Guardians movie.
And the holiday special.
And the holiday special, because if you're going to get the peak version of PG-13 Gunn in the third Guardians, which I don't think Gunn's going to make a better movie, is a better Marvel movie than Volume 2, because Volume 2 is right below Suicide Squad for me for a lot of personal reasons. That is just one of my favorite films of all time. You're going to have different mileage on how you feel with freedom, but I'm interested to see, and I've said this before, I kind of want to see, not just because of blood and whatever, what characters he would have threw in Guardians if he would have got to be able to have an R rating.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah, but yeah.
But more on that another day. For now,
I do want to ask. I know this is a rough transition for you, but Kristal, final thoughts.
Oh yeah. Sorry, it's just there's a bit of a domestic dispute happening in an apartment complex right now.
Oh no.
So we've been hearing
sorry.
screaming for a little while. No, it's okay. I just wanted to make sure like nobody was dying. That's why I stepped away for a second. But anyway, movie. Yeah. Good. Really good, actually. I'm kind of in between Guardians 1 and 2. I lean a little bit more towards 2, but only slightly. And that's really just because I cry every single time I watch it.
same.
Yep.
Seriously, every single time I watch it, I cry.
Yep.
So I really do enjoy James Gunn's work. Yeah, of course. In comparison to the first one, it does loops in the IKEA parking. It does tons in the IKEA parking lot, so it's great. But I do have a lot of complaints about it. I feel like it could have been worked out a little bit better, but at the same time, it's just fun. It's just a lot of fun. I love it. I love all the characters. I love the way that the characters play off of each other. It was just a fun time. Like, all the complaints I have about it really don't take front stage. Except for one line that Ratcatcher has that always puts me off every time I hear it. It's when Viola Davis is giving the briefing, and Ratcatcher's like, "Excuse me, what is that?" And she points to an Elmo. I'm like, all right, James Gunn,
look,
I get it. You don't like young people.
Okay, so initially the first reading I had of that was that she was poor and that she had never really seen anything that kind of like any of that kind of technology. So, like, of course, like, it would be a little confusing. But this time, the reading I got of it, like, the third time was like, she's pointing out how stupid it is that she knows it's an overhead projector. Why do you have an overhead projector in a room where you're already using another overhead projector?
Yes.
And it's perfectly put up when she's like, do you ever use it? No, not really. So why don't you just throw it away? Okay, Peacemaker, what do you want to say?
But then why ask, like, what is that?
Like, to point out the stupidity of having two overhead projectors.
But she doesn't have two overhead projectors.
Yes, she does. Kristal.
Well,
what? Okay, I'm confused now. But
what the hell do you think she was materializing the Corto Maltese briefing with her fucking mind? With a projector? Where was it?
I don't remember.
Overhead?
No, but that's not what. She's talking about the Elmo, not the overhead.
Like, you're using a projector.
Oh my god!
So, like, why would you have two projectors if you're already using one?
Exactly.
This is worse than the fucking.
No, don't you dare!
No,
Brock got out of his chair and left the room.
What the?
Left the room when you said yours. So don't even try to compare it.
No,
okay?
no. I at least picked up she was using a projector. Okay, what did you think she was using?
I thought she was
projecting her mind. Is that her superpower?
No, I thought she was an actual
Brother
projector. Like, not an Elmo, like this.
Oh
like
my god!
Oh my god!
No, oh my god! Fuck you!
Fuck you!
Fuck you!
Fuck you!
Fuck you!
today I learned that's called an Elmo.
Honestly, I didn't know that either until
Yeah,
today.
I didn't know. At first, I was like, I missed a scene where she asked where Elmo doll was, like the Muppet, and I was like, oh right, the overhead.
Hell yeah! Because she.
Brock, please leave all of that in.
I will. Don't worry.
I'm not trying to make fun of you. I truly was like, oh, I didn't realize that had a different name. That's cool.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
I used those all through school. I had no idea.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Because the whole thing, like, even Peacemaker says, like, millennials when she's
a douchebag.
But that's the whole point. They're pointing out that she's young. That's the point of that scene, and also to point out that Peacemaker's a dick. But then they have right after that they have the scene where she's like, "What's that?" I'm like,
because again, it's like you have two TVs in the thing. It's like, what's that? Oh, that's a TV. Do you use it? No, not really. I use the bigger one. So get rid of it.
No, never mind.
Kristal,
Never
I
mind.
think you're projecting a bias here.
Projecting.
Are we gonna stop?
We need to be transparent about this situation.
I don't know. I may be like reading too much into it. Thanks, Josh, for fucking gaslighting me into.
No, whatever. Fucking.
We need to have a couples podcast. I understand we don't have a lot of them.
Oh my god.
Get Jacob and his girlfriend, me and Kristal. We'll fucking duke it out.
We're gonna play the Newlywed Game is what we're gonna do, and
Oh god, no.
Oh boy, that'll be
All
fun.
the questions are going to be about heroin injection and overhead projectors.
And the proper techniques of tattooing.
Yes.
For the last fucking time.
He's having a fucking conniption over
I had
it.
a heart attack. I didn't notice the fucking needle the first time.
See, this is
I'm just joking because it's truly very funny, and I truly
is.
find that
It's
amazing.
I at least picked up that he died. I wasn't saying, oh man, is the flashback happening outside really?
You thought that the needle was a tattoo needle. A tattoo gun.
No, I
He
truly
had a
was just trying
tattoo
to
on
be
his
freaking.
arm in that shot. I was like, oh, he's touching it up.
we do have to wrap this up, but I also want to keep this going.
They're criminals. They're underground. Have you seen fucking people in prison? They're like, oh yeah, I'll dip the needle. That's how you do it in prison, bitch. You don't do your injected though. See, I didn't pay attention to that. The point being, I at least picked up he was using a needle. Okay, I wasn't like, oh man, how is this happening?
No, I never said that I thought Viola Davis was
You
using...
literally said,
No.
I asked you how it was being projected, and you were like, I don't know.
All right, guys.
I definitely didn't think it was that.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Subscribe, god damn it.
You're sleeping on the couch tonight.
No, whatever. You're sleeping on the couch tonight.
I'm gonna die.
So, before this gets too off the rails, Haylee, where can everyone find you online?
Nowhere. I'm still a void. Please talk to me in the Facebook group. I love you all.
Josh, where can everyone find you online?
You yell at me, Kristal. You can find me on Twitter at JSH Lozano, where apparently you can catch up on all my white escapades. And you can also catch me like just chatting it up and surprisingly getting a lot of likes recently. You can go to my YouTube channel, JoshBoy64. I just uploaded a long gestating video about the life and career of Kevin Smith. It's probably one of the best things I've made, and I'm going to do my best to top it on August 20th with a special thing that we're going to do for the site way later. You're going to see real soon. You can find me on Instagram at Joshua Lozano. I'm actually starting to post like personal journals and stuff from when I was in production of my Stephen King short film Rest Stop. So you can check that out. There's some interesting stuff there, but warning, it will get very intimate real soon with my diary entries of like the days I was shooting, like El Mariachi Rebel Without a Crew thing. And you can find me on Facebook at Joshua Lozano, on the Renegade Pop Culture group. I rarely post on there, but I'm starting to get back into Facebook because it's less toxic than than fucking Twitter.
Very
That's
true.
less toxic than Zuckerberg.
Fucking
so.
got me all scrambled up, Kristal.
I don't like
go.
I don't like the fact that you use the word gestating for the Kevin Smith.
God. Oh my god.
Kristal, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Twitter under simply_Ragu816, where I regularly roast Josh, my white boyfriend. Sorry, my white fiance. And you can also find me on Instagram. I can't believe I've never plugged my Instagram on the on the podcast. I just forgot it existed. Under Triforce.courage, Triforce of you've got me scrambled up now, Josh. Triforce.of.courage.bh with the A. It's an old Instagram. Okay. And you can also find me on TikTok under the same simply_Ragu816. And also the Renegade Pop Culture Facebook group under my name, Kristal Gillum. And that's about it.
And real quick, I just found my Instagram handle. It's Joshua Lozano 64.
There we go.
Nice. Brock, where can everyone find you?
You can find me attempting to dry my tears at YouTube. Literally everywhere at OrganoidZero. I've got it pretty much capped on all platforms, even on Instagram, which I really don't use. But I'm back to streaming again regularly. Me and Mike do 0-hour movie reviews pretty regularly now on there, and we now have our fresh takes of Evangelion going on there, where boy, I've been editing that lately, and the third one was still pretty positive, so we have not gotten into the slow slight descent into madness of Cameron as the days go along.
Yep.
So yeah, you want to go catch on to that? And me and Mike actually have a new thing coming up that I don't know if he wants to mention, but we'll see. We have another show starting that's on the opposite side of the tracks what we've been talking about. So yeah, that's where you can find me.
And you guys can find me on Twitter at Captain K42, my letterbox, letterbox.com/CoachK42, and you can find me in all the various Facebook groups just at my name. You can check out Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and Twitter at Ren Pop Culture. You can find us on Podchaser, listen to all of our podcasts on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen. And last but not least, anything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. You need to escape? So do we. That'll do it for this episode of Renegade Capes. We will catch you guys later. Peace out.
Bye-bye.